What are you looking at, Cinderin? Good lord.
I'm
Welcome
looking
to
at you
TI4
failing.
China Qualifiers. My name is Sunsfan. Joining me is Cinderin. This is presented by Monster, of course. And we have actually a really good match here for you as LD's fixing my stuff. Because somebody that was wearing this has an absolutely misshapen head, to say the least, is all I have to say. It's the only excuse that I have. Cinderin, today we are starting off the China Qualifiers with Dreamtime, which is your and my personal favorite teams.
Yes, probably our favorite to reach top 2, and also one of the teams I really enjoy watching out of the Chinese scene. These guys play excellent team fighting. Standout player is probably Air. For them, he's been getting a lot of praise for his play, especially on Brewmaster in that mid lane. Excellent tempo controller player. And yeah, what else is there to say? We just ran the pre-game or the pre-qualifier talk on the mainstream Beyond the Summit, and we pretty much all of us agreed that DT and LGD are the favorites. HGT probably third, but could make top 2. And then after that, I wouldn't say it's a toss-up between. For me, CIS is a slight favorite for 4th, and then we have teams like Speed Gaming, New Element, who could make an upset. So yeah, should be interesting to see. Let's jump into the draft.
Let's do it,
Excellent.
bro. Hello.
And by the way, very nice SEA qualifier intro you managed to run.
I enjoyed pushing that button, I'll tell you what.
That was great. So, we're ready.
Let's go over the bands, which are looking semi-normal, I suppose. Invoker, Lycan are the two that stand out, that are normal. And then there's Panda, a.k.a. Brewmaster, who we've been seeing a lot in SEA. He came into the first banning phase occasionally, but been seeing that a lot more lately. I guess he shouldn't be too surprised with all the buffs he's been getting over the last few patches. And Darkseer, the last ban. And of course, the first phase of picks are already underway. So we have Batrider, Ancient Apparition, along with Nyx and Lifestealer.
Yeah, CNB decided to give away the Batrider here, which arguably is the #1 pick in the world. Maybe after Lycan and not after Invoker. In the previous version, 6.8, I guess Lycan was the #1 pick if it got through. Now it's Batrider, I would say. In most cases, he will be first picked or banned. Regardless of scene, he has just been a priority pick. And CNB's response is, okay, we get Nyx Assassin, who's a great counter pick to Batrider. You can spike Carapace into the Firefly to stun him, then you got with your secondary stun. You've got Mana Burn against him. He's an int hero, it's pretty good. And Lifestealer can ignore all Batrider's magical damage. Of course, he can still get lassoed in Rage, which is something to keep in mind, but he is great against AA, who he just can pretty much completely ignore, apart from the shatter effect from the ult.
Right, well, speaking of that, you don't really want to get armlet if you're going against Ancient Apparition.
That's true.
So, probably we'll stay away from that. Although, do you just not get it against Ancient Apparition if you're Lifestealer? Because I feel like that's a standard pickup for the most part.
Like you can still choose to get it.
It's just, I mean, as long as you have Rage, I suppose it's not too big of a deal, but of course the AL is just really, really annoying. And if you're going to get, you can't toggle it, essentially, is what it comes down to. But Visage is going to be the 3rd pick for CNB, so they're looking for an aggressive tri-lane of sorts. I'm just assuming that Nyx is going to be in the off lane with Lifestealer, Visage, and some sort of a tri-lane to come. And Dreamtime, well, like you said, they have the Batrider, which I wouldn't call it a hard counter to Lifestealer because he usually can pop Rage before that point, but of course he's still going to get pulled. And I guess we'll see if they have enough damage to actually take him out while he's in lassoed mode and Rage. So really physical damage is what he has to worry about.
And this is interesting to see for me, the Visage pick. This is something I was talking about in the pre-qualifier talk that I said. I asked him, would you agree that Visage is going to be the hero that's most picked relative to the 2 previous qualifiers, where I feel like Visage got pretty much ignored in SEA and in the Americas qualifier? And I was thinking, Dreamtime loved playing Visage. I've seen LGD play it, and now CNB are going to pick it. So I'm positively impressed here with that pick. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it works, because this hero has fallen off a lot in the West, but it's more, like God said, it's more of a team-specific pick than a meta-specific pick now. He got nerfed quite a lot. Of course, has the 10 magic resistance as the only hero in the game instead of the base 25. Mana cost was increased on Soul Assumption. Cooldown was increased on Grave Chill in 6.8, I believe. So he's had some quite significant nerfs, but apparently CNB still consider him worthy of a pick here.
Bans coming out, which we didn't even go over. The Puck and Doom, along with the Spectre and Morphling, so getting some hard carries out of the way. Storm Spirit is going to be the pick for CNB, so you're going to be seeing a lot of Nakes bombs, if you will, which I don't know if that's 100% necessary with Lifestealer, but it's a nice added bonus, I suppose, because Lifestealer is, of course, not the hardest carry in the game, but with that initiation, that's going to be a lot of burst damage to have to deal with. But, of course, the Mirana, which, I don't know. Do we see a Shadow Demon here? Do the Chinese play Shadow Demon a lot?
I think it could be a nice pick. He's also good against Lifestealer. But the problem is if they don't counter pick Storm, he's going to run over them here. They have Lasso as the only realistic Storm counter. Sure, you can arrow him, but that's not reliable. And since Dreamtime banned Puck and Doom themselves, it makes you wonder if they actually wanted the Storm, but then maybe they should have picked it a little bit earlier, because now it's been sniped away from them. Still, Dreamtime, of course, going into this tournament, one of the favorites, so it will be a great upset here from the beginning if CNB should be able to take this game, but just looking at the draft so far, I think CNB has got a pretty good trade here.
Yeah, I agree. What are you doing, Conrad? Okay, there's some echoing.
Echo
Okay,
in
you
client.
fix it.
I have
You
open
fix
mic
my
on.
client.
Should I not have open mic on?
We have some technical difficulties. I have no idea. I haven't changed anything on my side, so.
Radiant team ban.
You want me to check? Alrighty. Excellent. This is Dota Cinema with
Should I take this
Best-
off?
okay, so it's Synderen's fault. Typical.
Okay.
Thanks, Conrad. We appreciate your help as always.
A little bit of production.
Probably his fault to begin with, but hey. Anyway, Templar Assassin's gonna be the 4th pick for Dreamtime, so that's gonna be the mid versus the Storm Spirit. How do you look at that matchup?
It's a
There's
lane
no
that
dot
favors
damage against Templar Assassin.
That's true. You love dot damage. It's a great TA pick overall here. It's great here against CNB. The familiars are the main problem for TA that can break down refraction pretty quickly, but apart from that, should be a very nice game for her. The lane against Storm, TA 1-on-1 versus Storm, I favor TA, not by a lot, which is pretty good for the Storm, I guess, since TA is a favorite for most lanes 1-on-1. It's one of the main reasons you pick the hero. But Storm can still get farm. Even if TA has very high damage, of course, it does not compete with the Remnant, which deals 160 damage, I think, on level 1. It's pretty ridiculous. 140, sorry.
Wow, ridiculous.
That's very, very high. Wraith King was another hero that we mentioned in the pre-qualifier talk, was going to be a big pick slash, both as a carry and support. The Chinese teams love running that, and we're going to have it as the 5th ban
Are you
here
surprised by that?
from CNB.
This late?
It's a target that's done against Storm, which I guess is great, although he can dodge it by using Ball Lightning wisely. So I don't think this was the choice Dreamtime was actually going to go for. I think they are still...
They still don't really have an Orchid carrier. Is that 100% necessary against a Storm?
Not necessary, no. They could get a Silence hero or a direct stun hero. Then I think they're going to be okay. But assuming Mirana is farming and not a support together with AA, then you could see something like... I guess these teams don't play Skywrath. I think he would be really cool here, actually, against both Lifestealer and Storm.
Yeah, I would like that.
Kind of weak against Nyx, though. He can just completely kill him off. But there are other options here for Dreamtime. I would be very surprised if the last pick isn't a stun or a silence, though, because then I think Storm is going to have a very, very easy game.
Yeah, I mean, Dreamtime actually banned Puck themselves, because that's a hero that I would have liked to see mid instead of a TA. But, I mean, like you said, Storm Spirit's not going to be able to kill TA without help in the beginning, at least. But TA can't really kill Storm either. Especially in the mid to late game. He has absolutely no lockdown, so you'd have to rely on a lot of burst damage. And really, they're relying on the Batrider Lasso to a very high degree. So I think this 5th pick is really important for DT. But CNB is going to finish it off for a bounty here. So it looks like Nyx is actually in the tri lane with the Visage bounty, or with the Visage Lifestealer bounty in the off lane. Or it could be
a support bounty hunter.
This is your favorite. We did this ourselves. There's no Bloodseeker, though.
So legit. And there is the...
Ooh,
okay, I guess we couldn't call this a stun or a silence, but Fiend's Grip is, of course, a full lockdown.
Right.
So it is technically a channeled stun with mana drain overall. Nightmare as well is, of course... I guess we would also call that a stun with damage, but not what I was imagining for DT, but of course it is enough if he does get to cast the grip. I think if you're Storm Spirit in this game, you want to try to focus on getting in on the Bane and showing a really cool Aegis with sound.
You like that?
Amazing.
Just did that on purpose too.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Yeah, let us know in chat, by the way, guys, if the sound is okay, because I don't think I needed to change what was just changed. Or maybe I actually did. Maybe this makes sense now.
I'm not sure why that would have changed at all to begin with, to be honest. But hey,
well, obviously we're catching up. Remember, we have a 5-minute delay on the stream, so any feedback you guys give us takes 5 minutes to reach us. But I'll be checking on and off to see if the sound is okay.
It hurts me to have to use the default HUD. It really does. But we're gonna do it for you guys, as we might have an engagement here. Although Bounty Hunter, of course, is invis. Keep in mind that the Nightmare into Arrow is really the combination here for DT. But of course, I feel like the Nightmare it's not the best setup just because it's so easy to toggle.
If it's 3 versus 3, that's very true. If it's 3 versus 1...
well, yeah, 3 versus 1 obviously it doesn't matter, but that's just not going to be the case here. At least it doesn't seem. Actually, Bounty actually might be up here. Because he went boots, so this is an off-lane Bounty, I believe.
Could also be a support.
A support Bounty with boots first?
Yeah.
Really?
Why not? It allows him to chase down targets. If he starts with Shadow Walk, he doesn't have a slow yet, so he needs to be faster than his opponents if he wants to do it. I would be surprised if it's support here, but it is certainly an option for them. But it looks like the lanes are shaping up in a way now so that Bounty will be top. He will be SDN playing as the Bounty. In the mid lane, we've got 8 GK on the Storm Spirit. And heading down towards the bottom lane, Nixus hasn't played by 888.
888!
5,400 hearts will be playing as Visage. And at Dogfights will be playing left. This is one thing that always amazes me about the Chinese scene. Their nicknames are so weird, and I love it.
Alrighty. And on the other side for DT, we have XDD. That's not his real... It actually is his real name. Okay, on Mirana, we have Dreamy You playing the Ancient Apparition. Super on Bane. And in mid lane, Air, who is not a stand-in. That is the Air. I believe it should be the same very Air that we were just talking about, playing the TA in mid. And in July, on the off lane, Batrider. So, we have the normal Storm Spirit TA setup that we thought would happen. Bounty is in the off lane, which... If they can get the sleep, they have the sentry, so he actually better be really careful here. This is a really easy kill if they're able to set it up correctly.
Yeah, I'm not expecting Bounty to get much here. They can pull back the lane and just hold the equilibrium. Bounty doesn't have any way of messing with that apart from pulling the big camp, but that one is actually blocked by the Radiant themselves. So this is going to be, in my book, impossible for SDN. So he thinks the same. He's like, whatever. Gonna try to rotate, but actually trying for a little bit of a cheeky play here, going back, maybe, in this direction. Nope. Never mind. Just going back again in the same direction. So
keep in mind, Batrider is now level 2. Will transition straight into the jungle. So that's one thing. Although it is harder offlane overall, as long as you get level 2 on Batrider, as we talked about so many times in this qualifiers, he's just going to go in the jungle and get pretty easy levels overall. So Bounty, level 1, about to hit level 2, so I guess not that far behind, but again, the jungling Batrider will get far more levels than this Bounty Hunter in all likelihood, as he's being forced out of lane completely.
Yeah, Super even has these 2 dusts of appearance, so it's... The moment Bounty tries to come inside to get experience, if he shows himself, he's dead. He will just get dusted, nightmared, and killed. This might actually happen right now. Super could try to go for it. He will. Wow! And there's the arrow. Got him.
Was that on purpose?
Oh, I realized I said he will. Then I had to go for it, right? Easy first blood for Dreamtime here. Great usage of the dust. Of course, that is...
Was that a lucky dust? I
No.
guess so. They didn't have... Unless he was visible first.
Yeah, he was visible first, and then he went Shadow Walk. And of course, when you use the dust on him in Shadow Walk, he loses 10% of his movement speed. It's easy for Bane to catch up to the Nightmare and set up that kill. So nicely done by Dreamtime. Easily the favorites going into this game as well, so expect nothing less. But CNB are getting good farm, so let's not forget that. Lifesteal is getting free farm bottom lane. Storm is slightly winning against TA, which I think is really well done by him. But overall, these 2 lanes fairly even, so... Bounty Hunter compared to Batrider, we just know who's going to be the more valuable hero with early farm.
Right, so 2.5 versus now 3.5, and he just got his Tranquil, so he won't have to leave the jungle for a very long time with that 1 clarity as well. And I'm expecting a sub, I guess to be safe, I'll say 8-minute Blink Dagger. Is that reasonable, Synderen?
I think he might get it. Yeah, since he went Tranquils, I guess 8, maybe even 9. If he gets countered just a little bit or gets unlucky with the camps like this, good old Batrider friends, the Mud Golems, they're going to try to put some pressure on Air. This is just not going to happen. And the worst thing about this for SDN is not that the gank failed, but that he was shown.
Right.
Because now the top lane knows exactly what's going on. They know he isn't there. They can play like Bounty is not in the lane. And they will just be pushing the tower again. And if he makes the same mistake again, Super will make the same play. He does have the dust available.
I'm surprised they don't have another sentry just to place under this tower, because you have to assume that he perhaps would be sitting here trying to leech some XP, but he's not, which is actually the most surprising thing. He's just going to continue to roam. I would think that he'd want to harass Batrider in the jungle, but they're going to find him in the bottom row.
8GK!
8GK going to get a little bit of harassment. done him by the Bat Rider, but alas, he's just going to use the Firefly to his advantage to take the enemy jungle creeps, which is very annoying. HGK not able to secure the room for himself, and this will allow... Actually, this will allow Bounty Hunter to get some levels, which might actually be more important than anything else at this point.
Yeah, but there we go. This is what Bounty Hunter can't deal with at all, just as a hero. He cannot defend the tier 1 when the push starts coming. The only thing he can do is try to pull the wave, but if he goes in range for that, he gets dusted and gets killed by the Bane. So, nicely done by DT to get the safe lane tower at 4.5. Bat Rider, like we said, almost level 5 in that off-lane position, who has been a little bit in the jungle. So overall, Dreamtime off to a great start. They've got about 2,000 gold advantage and 1,000 experience, and if you're CNB right now, I think what you want to do is you get Lifestealer to level 6 or 7, and then you start the Storm Bombs really early, which is something we didn't even talk about. Yeah.
Pops his refraction, not going to take any damage
away,
for a bit. Getting slowed though. Impale is up in 5 seconds. It's not going to be enough. Right clicks to follow, but AA is here for moral support, if nothing else. Puts down an Ice Vortex to scare everybody away, because hey, that magic resistance is pretty sick, bro. Air though, working on his phase boots, should be able to finish it right now if he chooses to do so.
Ooh, this is interesting for me. I like seeing this from Dreamy U. Finally.
What's that?
A Bane who's maxing cold feet.
Mid lane again.
Never happens anymore.
Initiation to follow. Impale again. Refraction's up in 3 seconds. The right clicks are not enough this time. As again, AA is here to scare everybody off with the Ice Vortex.
They're putting a lot of pressure on Air, and I like this from CNB because he is one of the main players you want to lock down from DT if you get away with it. Dog fights will get in July here. Can skill Infest, very nicely played. Gets the experience for level 6 with the kill. Infests into the melee creep. Nicely done here.
Pop out, bro. There
and
we
we'll
go.
jump out to get almost full health here.
Well,
nice play by Dog
trying to
Fights.
set it up with an arrow, but they did not get the Nightmare off.
And now the turnaround. 888.
What? Okay, we have a sleep. Nightmare to follow. Super. Gets bursted, as Cinderin would say. Impale to follow, and the XDD is going to attempt to run away. His leap is up. Should be fine. Working on his Midas right now. In fact, he's going to finish it at the side shop. So it is 2-1 advantage of CNB. So getting off to coming back a little bit in this game. Although, I don't know, whose lanes do you favor so far? Just overall.
Just strictly the laning stage.
Right, I mean, the Bounty Hunter obviously is a little bit behind the Bat Rider, which is now level 6. He's actually just jungling the opposite in the Dire jungle, surprisingly enough.
If Bounty had more experience, I would say CNB were leading, but it is the Bat Rider factor who's almost level 7 now, so... Overall, still a lead for DT, but the early rotations here from CNB have been pretty good, and now that Storm is level 6 and Lifestealer solo killed the Bat Rider and got level 7, we can see the Storm Bomb, or the Nyx Bomb as it is probably more appropriately called, really early on, and the only hero they can't kill together is the TA, where I think they will still need backup to bring TA down. They can easily kill Bat Rider, AA is no problem, Bane, free kill, Mirana, with a little bit of mistiming, maybe she gets off a leap and gets some assistance, but if she doesn't get assistance, she's dead too. So this is a good old combo that isn't really used that much anymore because no one seems to pick Lifestealer that highly, but in the Chinese scene, he's a pretty big pick.
Top lane, I should say. Nightmare. Arrow to follow. Nyx Assassin's going to pike. Oh my god, look at the burst damage from Bounty Hunter. He's able to take out Mirana, which is a huge blunder for DT. They are going to secure 1 kill at the very least, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. Weren't expecting the Bounty Hunter with 2 levels in Shoryuken. You like that? He actually goes 3 levels, so typically when I see a Bounty Hunter, it's typically 2 levels max in Shoryuken until the rest are max, because it doesn't scale the greatest as far as damage is concerned. What are your thoughts on that?
Often you choose 2 points in Shadow Walk just so you can overlap it, because it has right now it has a 15-second cooldown, 15-second duration. But on level 2 you get the extra 5 seconds per level, obviously. So, and then most Bounty Hunters will get, like you said, 1 or 2 points in Shuriken and then go high levels in Janata. But in this game, I think because of the weakness of Bounty Hunter in the lane, this is the best way for him to build right now. It's all about the burst. You kill off a target fast, and it has great combinations with the rest of their lineup. Of course, Nyx will be getting Vendetta very soon. Together with the Lifestealer Bomb, that extra Shuriken damage can make the difference. I like CNB's chances here. DT went into this as the favorites. They're still ahead, but really not by that much, and I love the mid-game potential of CNB's lineup. They can be so explosive.
Yeah, the Lifestealer Bombs is what I'm waiting for. Obviously, we saw it used a little bit more defensively, but that was to get it to secure a 1v1 kill, which is obviously great for your 1 in CNB's case, but the Nyx Bombs are something to truly, truly fear. Drums are now picked up, so going for the more race car build on the Lifestealer, which I suppose is, I guess that's more normal than not these days. But question is, does he go S and Y after this, or does he, like, do you actually avoid going Armlet against AA, who is level 6 already and has the point booster actually? Wow, that's really quick.
Yeah, he's been getting good farm. He has 14 CS on an AA at 9 minutes, which is pretty high. I think he's been given the pull priority. A little bit of an impale made on air, just preventing him from getting 1 CS, I believe. Not really the biggest deal in the world. He has the drum first, so I think if he wanted to go for Armlet, maybe he goes Armlet before the drum. In this game, maybe for Lifestealer, you just, like you said, you go straight S and Y. You go mobility.
I think it's the right choice.
I think that would be great. Or a Deso, just really hardcore damage.
You don't see that too often.
It is a bit greedy, maybe a bit too offensive, because obviously S and Y also gives the strength for some tankability. And with DT having both Lasso and Fiend's Grip online in a moment, that could be really tricky for him. I just think it's really hard for Lifestealer to play this game. We're going to see what choice he makes. 888. We're going to have the Lifestealer inside the Nyx. We'll break the smoke of Super, but I don't think they saw him because he was uphill. But now they're going to perhaps run into him. Yes, they are. Super's in a lot of trouble here.
Okay, Impales first. There's the Infest. Super, goodbye. Whoa. Okay, Moonlight Shadow. I didn't expect them not to have any detection
good
at
timing
all.
there from XDD.
So he's gonzo. And that, of course, is the first Infest used offensively and does not pay off for CNB. So you would assume that they'd pick up some dust here very shortly. Bottom lane, though, Visage, AA Blast. Batrider getting credit for the kill after the lasso was used. So one blunder for CNB turns into a win for DT on the other lane.
And now Bounty Hunter, bottom lane, is actually going to go in on Dreamy U. Storm is going to jump in as well. They should have more than enough damage here to take him down, but Batrider is trying to cause some trouble. Nope. And track is going to be huge. We didn't even mention that yet.
That's true.
They have such a great killing lineup. The goal for CNB in this game is just to run around and find pickoffs with the bounty. Every time he has full mana, go to a lane, set up kill.
Oh, I thought they were going to go for it. Fiend's Grip was up, chose not to use it. Actually, I want to check the TP situation here. So I guess we do have one on Visage, so didn't want to dive too much, but either way.
By the way, Shuriken is perhaps the skill in the game that has the weirdest scaling. I still don't understand why it's the way it does.
Saying. That's why you only get 2 levels typically.
Yeah.
What is it?
So
like,
weird though. So it's 100, then it's plus 100, then it's plus 50, and then it's plus 75. Yeah, it's really
like
strange.
In a normal situation where you're not like the off lane, where things can, you're not exactly sure if you can get levels, you would typically just max Janata as you talked about. 888 is now infested. Doesn't have a blink dagger though, and can't really initiate with Vendetta with these creeps too close by, so perhaps he'll just clean this up and then do so right after. But of course there is a sentry. He's actually going to check it out, so very nicely played.
Yeah, he also finds an observer with this. This is really good from 888. It's a little bit of 50 extra gold for your trouble, sir.
Excellent.
And the familiars are up. Did we mention that?
And the traps. There you go.
Another gold.
Hey, that 1 gold might come in handy one of these days. So perhaps wants to try to start initiating again. Of course, Batrider, we've seen 1 kill already with that early blink dagger. And in fact, Chilling Touch is applied to him right now, but he's going to back up, expecting perhaps a gank from this Nyx Assassin, infested Nyx Assassin, I should say. But it's going to be a little bit more difficult with all these sentries up. Of course, they did counter the mid lane, but without a blink dagger, it might be tough to actually pick somebody off. In fact, there's 3 DT heroes in range.
Might go for. Oh, he's out.
Oh boy, Infest to follow. Nyx is dead right off the bat, and Super's going to pop his ult on dogfights. Goodbye, Nyx. So a failed gank for CNB with 4 members of DT in range is just, it's unfortunate. And keep in mind, although it didn't really apply there, the Fiend's Grip goes, not only does it go through BKB, the stun, but I believe the mana drain as well.
The mana drain goes through Rage too, that's right. But that's just too aggressive play here from CNB. A little bit of lack of, I feel like that was inexperience, to be honest, going for that kind of kill. There's all the heroes from DT are missing on the map. Even going in there, if they are visible, is going to be risky because they can TP support. And maybe now we're going to have DT make the same mistake.
Absolutely. A little bit too cocky. Here comes the track. Nice sheer. You can do a ton of damage. The AA Blast. Oh my god. Bounty gets decimated. Batrider now on the run with the Firefly. Looks like he should be okay. The arrow's going to completely whiff XDD though, helping secure another kill. Nyx Assassin did fall as a secondary hero. So despite the nice initiation on the TA, they still lose 2.
Yeah, that level 4 brain sap, just completely crushing them. Of course, it is 300 pure damage, so one of the strongest non-ultimate nukes in the game on the Bane here. And he's gonna get jumped by Storm, who just found a regen rune. He can keep going. He can keep going for days. Gonna jump again. Easy Duracell play
I'm
by
actually
Storm
surprised
Spirit.
that the regen got popped, but he's gonna find himself in a little bit of trouble. Batrider, is his ult up? Yes, indeed. Here we go. Is this gonna be enough damage? Of course. AA Blast to follow. Flame Break. Goodbye, Storm Spirit. So, well, we're seeing a lot of trades. That's one good thing, I suppose. So 6 to 8 advantage DT. What are you typing, Synderen? What are you typing?
None of your business.
No.
Mid tier 1 will now be sieged by DT again, of course, with the Storm Spirit dead. This might be a pretty easy pick-off. Air is playing very aggressively. Went for the Yasha first, which...
Yeah, that's unusual.
This is probably not the best Blink Dagger game, because you don't want to commit into CNB, just flat out go in. You're gonna get destroyed. So gets the mobility from Yasha and goes into BKB. We most commonly see either of these two builds. Either it's first item Blink or Yasha BKB. So the BKB is going to be nice against the Storm Spirit, against the Nyx.
Oh,
And pretty much only that. Sure, there's Soul Assumption, but both Lifestealer, Visage Familiars, and the Janata from Bounty Hunter actually still deal significant damage in that BKB.
That's
so
true.
Perhaps CNB can still deal with him. AA Ultimate, it's going to hit some trees.
Boom! Get wrecked, trees.
Winter is coming.
God, don't remind me.
Oh boy.
Don't remind me. I wanted to mention something, although it looks like we're getting a Yasha. What? Okay, he is going S and Y. This is like... he picks up the Boots of Elven Skin and Belt of Iron Strength as we have top lane initiation. On to XDD. He does not have Leap. His Moonlight Shadow's off, but at least he gets off his Midas. But you're seeing the burst damage here.
Such a good ganking duo.
Absolutely. And this isn't even taking Lifestealer into account, which the Infest bombs have basically failed so far, but... I mean, that's pretty much viable throughout the entire game, so it's not like it can ever sleep on that overall. So 8 to 7 advantage of DT, but lots of trades. This is a very even game, and I think a lot of people were expecting DT to just overrun a lot of these teams. But Batrider is going to jump in. Is this AA Blast going to actually connect? It looks like it is. The Flame Break to follow.
Speaking of a nice ganking combo, that one's pretty good too.
They have a lot of global presence for sure.
The main thing in this game so far is that DT are ahead by 2 towers. That's where the majority of their gold lead, or not even the majority, but actually a big part of it comes from. Surprisingly enough, they're 7,000 gold ahead. This doesn't feel like a 7,000 gold game to me. No. But there's the the Midas build on Marana, of course, plays a big role. The 2 towers. And that's pretty much it. And then AA,
well, it's
of course, getting
Batrider.
Great farm, and the Batrider setting it up. They've been doing a good job.
Blink and Force Staff already.
Another
so
tower falls, and now Grip on HGK.
AA Blast is up every second, it seems. They're going to secure another kill. Batrider's invis, thanks to the Moonlight Shadow, but there is a sentry showing them off. So it doesn't look like they're going to pursue any further. But we're talking about the gank potential for CNB. It's gone off decently well, but... really need to implement Lifestealer into this, and he's getting closer to the S and Y, as we talked about. Mix and matching all these recipes and items. Doesn't actually want to combine anything to an actual Sage or Yasha until the thing is completed, apparently. But Dreamy U, perhaps, yep, looks like Roshan will be the target of choice for DT.
They have great heroes for this, of course. The Meld from TA is -8 armor. Then did they have a medallion too on the Bane? Yes, they did. And then the arrow to get the 5-second stun on Roche, also very good. This is where CNB have to try to Storm Bomb or Lifestealer Bomb with the Orchid, and they did manage to scare away DT by just flying in the Familiars here, so pretty nice job. But that was a resummon. If they get killed now, they're out for 2.5 minutes, which is absolutely huge, and looks like Air will be... Oh, he missed the Melt Strike!
Oh, goodness.
Didn't get the attack off. Arrow's going to fly straight to him.
888. Sure, an Air will fall. No, but it's going to be the lasso. AA Blast to follow. Yes! Nyx is dead.
I feel like I've seen this before.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, we have more initiation dogfights. Popped his rage and is forced out, so I feel like they could probably just go for Roche if they wanted to. We're seeing the Infest Bomb come to effect. Visage is dead, though. This Nyx Bomb is going to be used defensively as Storm Spirit is just zipping away. This should be a free Roche now. And Ultimate Orb on Marana, so going to be finishing that. I would assume it's a Manta style.
Yeah.
Unless he wants to go Sheep Stick, it'd be really cool.
Very nice against the Orchid
Lincolns.
of Storm.
You're going Lincolns. Forget that. Picked up the Perseverance just now.
That's good against Storm too. I mean, both items are good defensively.
Track picks it off so quick, so...
Oh boy!
There's the Nyx Bomb. Dreamy, you getting really low. He's going to go down to Shiryuken. Roshan's not very low, though. 2-for-1 exchange. Storm Spirit did fall. Dogfight's trying to get out, but his right clicks just don't do that much right now. And Batrider, Is he actually going to get this kill? Is he going to burn? Burn! Bounty on. Oh. He will live to see another day. I can't breathe. Roshan is taken out. Oh, God, Cinder, help me. Oh, God. Take over. I'm going to watch Visage while I cough.
What do you think about Bane's build?
Whose?
Damn it, I just wanted you to talk again. So, the Roshan will fall to DT here. That was a really nice initiation from CNB and shows what potential their lineup has. That was a 3v5. They jumped in. They got an even trade. They still lost the Rosh, but got 2 kills right away. If there is a Nyx stun there, they crush DT completely.
Not
they
only a
wipe
Nyx
the
stun,
floor with them.
But if Lifestealer just a little bit more farmed, if he had the full S and Y, it could have made a little bit of a difference because his attack speed is pretty damn low. But of course, he's not going to get a ton of damage from that item. So I think the item after that is probably more important. So what does he go after? Does he actually go Armlet? Does he go Basher? Which that would be pretty good, I suppose, making that into an Abyssal at some point, or even a Assault Cuirass.
Decent Basher game. It's not really the easiest game to decide item built in, I think, for the Lifestealer. I still think Deso is a viable choice since they have great physical damage aside from him. There's the Visage Familiars who are great with minus armor. Storm, Bounty Hunter. Oh boy, this is gonna go down.
They're being shown Bat Rider initiation, but the Nyx Assassin, this counter to the Bat Rider who goes down pretty much right away, but Nyx Assassin will trade his life in turn. Bounty Hunter on the run along with the rest of this CNB lineup as we have a jump in actually, but it's just gonna cause the death of Storm. I'm not sure what that was all about.
I think he was trying to steal the gem and then get out again, because there was a ping. Gem of True Sight dropped here.
Okay.
Bat Rider died. Maybe he tried to snipe it, but got killed on the way out. So there will be a 2-for-1 exchange. DT continuing to take control of the game.
Effect yet? He's had it for a while.
And yeah, was
maybe
that
on the jump in?
Yeah, I guess that was used on the Bat Rider here as well in the jump, but he already used Lasso, so it wasn't really too useful. I want to give DreamEU a lot of credit for his AA ults. I think they've been on point the whole game. He hasn't missed a single one apart from the one that just hit the trees, but that was kind of a random shot. The ones that need to hit, they just hit until I said that, then it missed. But this is just going to get out anyway.
He nicked Nyx, bro. It's all good.
Oh yeah, well played. Oh, Nyx.
Lincoln's now complete as we might have counter initiation. XDD does have a leap, but no Moonlight Shadow. Bane, Fiend Grip onto Lifestealer, but it's going to get canceled pretty much right away. Super, in all likelihood, will fall. He does have level 2 Enfeebled. Storm dead again, but it's going to be a trade for AA, so definitely in favor of DT, although they do now lose Bane. Bat Rider
taken by
so
Bounty.
Much damage overall. Bounty took the gem, you said? Yes, indeed
Yes,
he did.
that's a big pickup.
Storm's just dying like right away. He needs like a BKB or something.
Such a good item to have against CNB's heroes. The gem, of course, both Bounty Hunter and Nyx will try to initiate with their invisibility every single time. And you're right, Storm needs a defensive item. He needs a BKB, or maybe a Lincoln's would actually be enough, just so they have to cast a little bit more before they can get through and really lock him down.
Yeah, Lincoln's pretty good.
He's kind of far away from it, though, since, like you said, he dies every fight, but what could be the saving grace for CNB is track. It's level 2, he's level 12. They need to keep fighting, because they're far behind on gold, about 10,000. The experience only 7.5. And one good team fight for CNB is a 5k gold swing, if they get multiple tracks off. That's just how much level 2 track does. You should try to go in on the Bat Rider, lock him down before you use the lasso, get that kill, and then maybe transition over into sniping off the AA, who is, by the way, 300 gold away from the Ag Scepter.
Are you serious?
He is getting really rich, and they cannot deal with that at this current point. The CNB heroes are really fragile.
Wow.
That 17-second duration on the level 2 AA ult is going to be absolutely
devastating. I think we were questioning whether an Armlet would be good this game, and I think it's an emphatic no now that AA is going to be picking up that Ags. I mean, how do you ever toggle that at all? But Moonlight Shadow popped. They're going to put down a sentry just to make sure they weren't spotted, which they weren't. Lifestealer is going to get initiated upon again. Can he jump into a creep? No, he pops Rage, though, but again, they have so much lockdown and decent amount
gets
of
the Infest off!
The Infest. Finally, though, AA Blast coming in. It's going to nick a couple people. Nyx will fall, though. July getting initiated upon. Soul Assumption is there. Super attempting to run away. Looks like he actually will, and the TP out for whoever in God's name that was.
Air on the TA.
So they lose. It's a 1-for-1, and honestly, DT will still take this every single time.
Trading Lifestealer for Bat Rider there, they're going to be happy with, but that was a little bit of an ill omen for DT in the next team fights. This Lifestealer survived so damn long. He survived through the entire lasso, through multiple seconds of grip before he got saved, and then got a fast Infest off.
Look at TA's. Like, nobody's doing much damage on DT right now.
Not yet.
So if this is, I hope this is a Deso on air and not a BKB.
He already has one. So that would be really weird.
Wait, what? What?
He already has BKB. You're looking at him.
Oh, you're right. Lol. Okay, so he has the Yasha into BKB.
Oh
Okay.
god, maybe it's a
God, that's
Maelstrom.
so
Who
good.
knows?
Oh, okay. No, I don't like Maelstrom here at all.
No, it's definitely a Deso.
So once he gets the Deso, they actually might have enough damage to take out the Lifestealer. So that's when it gets scary for Lifestealer, I feel, who's now locked down at the moment. Takes the AA Blast to the face, which is, again, is the Aghanim Scepter version. It's not going to be enough to tick him down, but it's still going to be very annoying.
Yes.
And he only has one charge on his drums left. He's using him very liberally. It looks like we're probably going to have another smoke.
They need to invest bomb again. They can't be the ones getting picked off. They have to be the initiators. Have to try to find a fight. SDN will be getting BKB on Bounty.
Boy.
Yeah, that's
a little
dead
bit of a
Visage.
misstep from Batrider, but he's going to use his Force Staff to make up for lost ground. And Visage gets blown up. But yeah, they're getting closer and closer to that Deso, which not only helps get the kill on Lifestealer, but help get Roshan in the future as well.
And get
Nice
towers.
and pale, but of course... Oh, Lincoln Sphere's not going to save him from the Storm Spear, who has 0 mana now. AA Blast will nick him. Arrow, it's going to hit! 8 GK. Oh, boy, that is just truly unfortunate. Wrong place at the wrong time with 0 mana to speak of.
Yeah, I thought he might have thought he could go for a little longer there, but no Regen Rune, and then it's not so easy. And wow, I don't think I've ever seen this before. He bought the Lincoln's recipe first.
Who?
For his Lincoln's.
Storm?
Storm.
Wow.
It's just so weird because
That
the
is
build-up
really
for this item is pretty expensive, and
Well, did he buy it right before he died?
I don't know, he still has... Yeah, maybe he just wanted to use this unreliable gold. That is possible. Of course, recipes sell back for more of their price than other items do, but still, that's a little weird to go for this instead of the ulti up first, but... Might have been the reasoning.
Well, what else would it have been, honestly?
I don't know.
Who buys recipe first?
That's so weird.
Has to be.
14k gold for DT, and just... they keep gaining. There's nothing from CNB stopping them, and again... For me right now, it comes down to how well can they use Lifestealer Bomb. If they don't use that well from now on, they're going to lose the game. It is their #1 initiator. It's what they have. The Nyx
Why have we
will
not
have a
been seeing
blink
it?
now.
I mean, I feel like DT's doing a decent job of pressuring, but they're not pressuring as much, to the point that you can't start doing, like right now they could just do it with, just get a smoke, which is on the ground actually, incidentally, and just set something up, because Lifestealer, you're not going to outfarm this TA. You don't even want to really outfarm them in the early stages, because you want to be part of these ganks like you're talking about. But there's the blink actually on Nyx, and that might be what they've been waiting for, because like I talked about, that gives them 2 avenues to actually jump in, I suppose. So
If they wait any longer, I don't know what they're waiting for.
Right.
You can't wait anymore now. You have Infest, you have Nyx with Blink, you have the mech on Visage, which is, of course, going to be really weak if they get hit by the AL. It's going to do absolutely nothing apart from giving 2 points of armor. But, yeah, here we go. Smoke. It's go time, but the ping already coming out here from
for
DT.
both
They know it's going to
sides.
happen.
Oh,
Here we go.
They're going to run into each other. Batrider, who's he going to find? Nyx Assassin countering huge. He's going to die right away. Nyx Assassin as well. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade to start off the bat. Storm trying to go in and out, in and out. That's what she said, but Miran.
You and God should make a casting team.
Storm getting so low, but he's going to zip away again. And Lifestealer, there's not a whole lot he can do because they got caught out of guard. 2-for-1 right now. He's going to find his death as well, so it's a 3-for-1 in DT's favor. It's a smoke for a smoke. I don't know. They had the high ground, too. That's the crazy part. But Batrider did an amazing... Even though he got blown up because of the Nyx Assassin, which you didn't really talk about this game. We talk about Shadow Demon being a great counter to the Batrider, but Nyx Assassin is pretty damn close to the same.
This is gold difference only. I think CNB made an excellent initiation there. They did a good job at finding the correct target, killing Batrider immediately, going over into a 3-man static remnant, I think that was from Storm Spirit. Actually dealt great damage, but DT are just too far ahead. CNB might have, just a couple of mistakes they made put them in a really bad position. Now they're just so far behind that not only do they need to take a good fight, DT also needs to make mistakes, and they didn't. Batrider got caught. That was the only thing that went wrong, but that wasn't really a mistake. That was just a great counterplay from the Nyx. They don't have enough anymore. They're 15k gold behind.
And this rush is going to go so fast.
Yeah.
Deso and Medallion, along with the already minus armor from TA's meld. Gonna be pretty quick. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it was like a simultaneous gank, so I guess I would, even though they had high ground, Batrider did give them vision, so I thought that was really important, but you're probably right with the item difference overall. BKB now on Batrider. And looks like Mirana will be the one picking up the Aegis. What do you think about that instead of the TA? Considering that Mirana's going so defensive with these items. She has Manta, Lincolns.
Yeah, I would have given that to TA as well.
TA just has BKB.
I'm not quite sure what the reasoning is. I completely agree. That would have been better on TA here, but XTD.
Like the support, like Ancient Apparition. How often do you see Ancient Apparition with Ags and Force Staff before 30 minutes? This is ridiculous.
And that's where a big part of the gold difference is. Look at his net worth. He's got 8,400 net worth. He has more than the Nyx and Visage combined for the Radiant side, so he is really, really rich. All these assists have just been giving him great amounts of gold. He's been on the mark with every single ability. And now if DT are going to be pushing bottom lane with 5 heroes, CNB cannot defend this. They shouldn't even try, which it looks like they also won't. They need to try to defend high ground. The question is, can they even do that now?
Well, they're going to get the tier 2 bot. And you're right, this is, at this point, this is DT's game to lose, but Mirana finishing up that Manta style. So I feel like if you know you're going to get the Aegis, well, I guess she already had Yasha at that point, but go for a little bit more offenses. But I guess it's better safe than sorry. Seeing Track come into play as there's the initiation. BKB to follow. Bounty Hunter will get destroyed, but here's the nice Nakes Bomb. A 3-man Impale, actually, super very low. Gets 4-staffed out, but alas, the item advantage is so huge. Bounty Hunter actually buys back after the Nyx Assassin death. Bounty Hunter again. This is going to be a dieback. The Fiend's Grip is off the charts. Whatever that means. DD. Well, he will go down, so the Aegis will fall. But with the buybacks, I feel like they could probably just go back in here, although TA is quite low.
They won't be able to go high ground.
Do they have any? Or they don't have any urns or anything for sustainability. Do they even have a mech? Wow, this is actually weird. There's no mech, no pipe, no urn. So if you don't get it in the first try, you just have to back up and try again, I suppose.
I think the AA could have gone for a mech instead of Force Staff. I would have probably personally preferred that.
Although the Force Staff did save.
But the Force is such a great item too. You can't really against CNB's heroes, being able to force someone is amazing too.
I
so
think Bane could pick it up here.
Both abilities are good. Yeah, Bane could go for it now, but
not the greatest.
He went for the medallion to take Roshan. He has been the position 5, so doesn't have the gold for it yet.
AA can just use his Ice Blast.
How many buybacks was that? One. Only one. That was such a good impale from the Nyx there. That 3-man impale saved the fight. If he doesn't get that, they probably lose the racks there. But DT took a lot of damage. Storm Spirit got in with a good jump too, and they were able to hold on for now. But they're gonna have to they're gonna have to do it again. This time there won't be an Aegis though. No Aegis on Mirana, and I love this from CNB. Get a little bit of momentum from defending the base. Immediately seek out the enemy team. Bounty took a creep here, and he's gonna walk back.
There's
Perhaps DT will bite the bait.
Will bite the bait.
That's a word. It's not take the bait, it's bite the bait.
Okay, so we have the
here we go!
But Bat Rider's going to be the first to follow. And good God, Nyx Assassin just blows up so quick. I'm not used to seeing such an under-leveled Nyx Assassin, or under-farm for that matter. But Nakes Bomb is still in effect if they want to go. There's going to be the Orchid Super. He hasn't popped out yet. There he goes, Bane, getting very low. Going to be down to the right clicks of Nyx, but there goes Bounty Hunter. Lifestealer forced to Rage TP out. Is he going to actually get out? He is, despite the ridiculous damage coming from TA, who now has a Crystallis. So next time that Roshan is up, I would be shocked beyond belief if TA does not take it. She is doing a ridiculous amount of damage.
I don't know if there's going to be a next Rosh.
Possibly.
The Bat Rider gem is making this living hell for the Nyx Assassin to initiate. He cannot go in without having the superior vision and just opening with a blink. Bat Rider's on him instantly with the Firefly Blink Lasso. They have no counter to the BKB Bat Rider. They can't stop him at all. So whenever he gets the initiation, too bad. Your target's pretty much dead because Tia will almost one-shot him.
Did you see how long it took them to kill Bane? It was with the Orchid, it was with the Infest, and they barely got the kill, and they just had to force it out.
He has 14 armor with the medallion unused, and he has 1400 health, so he's fairly tanky here.
That's true.
Level 14, of course, very high level Bane as well.
How often do you see treads on Bane?
That's pretty uncommon.
Cool. Well, obviously he did it just for stats, but well, his right click is pretty ridiculous, obviously. I mean, let's not kid ourselves here. But 5, 4, and 10, and like we've talked about all game, the supports are really the I won't call them the saving grace, but they're adding insult to injury towards CNB. I mean, they're getting out-farmed heavily in that department, as you see. Bane, second to last, but the rest of everyone on DT is just ridiculous farm at this point. 10,000 net worth on AA. Jesus. So sick.
It's really, really
He's going
sick.
for Veil, actually. He's just getting really greedy.
And finally, here is the Daedalus for Templar Assassin, and the Lincolns for Storm that he's been working on for what seems like an eternity now.
Oh, we have the Moonlight Shadow. Not sure if they're going to find anybody, though. They're just going to take out some creeps. This is still a... Actually, it's a 6-second BKB. He's used this quite a few times, actually, surprisingly. But Bat Rider, this should be an 8. Yeah, it's an 8-second BKB. And they can't do anything against Bat Rider if he initiates with that BKB. So that... Well, actually, 0 buyback. So yeah, this is crucial. This could be GG here for DT if they're able to execute correctly. Visage Familiars are on their way. Fortifications popped. Arrow is not going to find anybody. But with this Desolator, it just makes pushing so much easier. Do they just give up this Rax? I don't know. Here we go, though. Initiation, XDD. But there's the counter initiation on it. He's getting so low. Gets destroyed. Now Nick's Assassin will fall as well. 4 dead for CNB, as this is going to end up being a team wipe. They're going to completely chase.
This TA hits pretty hard.
Air hits like an absolute beast. That Daedalus, Desolator, Casual Yasha, which obviously would have turned into a Manta at some point. But this was a very convincing game for DT. I mean, I thought the lanes were really good overall. It was very even until about the 10-minute mark. And I mean, do you really think that the off lane ended up being the difference in this game? The Bounty Hunter versus, well, it wasn't directly versus, but versus the Bat Rider.
Not necessarily the lane, but the hero. Bat Rider just did so much more than Bounty Hunter in this game, and no wonder, because it was a more impactful pick in this game too. And Bat Rider is still arguably the best hero generally in competitive Dota 2 right now. Most teams value it very highly. And that's perhaps one of the strengths of DT going forward in this qualifier, is that any other teams feel like they have to ban the Brewmaster. And if they have to do that, then heroes like Bat Rider will get through, and DT are not afraid to use it, made great use of it. As far as CNB goes, I think they played a pretty good game. If they weren't as far behind as they were, like their execution, considering they were 10 to 15,000 gold behind, was actually really damn good. They just need to avoid getting 10 to 15,000 gold behind, so avoid losing those early towers. Avoid making that really questionable dive behind the tier 1 tower in mid where Nyx and Lifestealer went in. That was just too greedy. I think that might have been... I don't want to call it the turning point, because Dire were ahead the whole game, but it was certainly... It gave DT a lot of breathing room and a lot of time. And here's the camera. You just turned the camera on. Amazing.
So
here
good
we
at
are.
this.
Excellent.
So good.
What do you think? Do you think you and God should be making a casting team together? With his Infest joke yesterday and your that's what she said joke now? I think you guys will...
what did I say? In and out, in and out?
That's what she said?
I could have made a fast food reference, but I went for the sexual one.
That would have actually been better. That would have been more classy, yeah. In and out, like fast burgers.
No, I would have said in and out, animal style. I guess only Americans will actually...
Yeah, the thing is, people will think of that as a sexual reference as well,
yeah,
so that wouldn't have worked.
Then I killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Oh, that's true. That would have been stylish.
Yeah, DT off to a very good start in this qualifiers. A lot of people consider them, at the very least, top 2.
Yeah.
If not first place, along with LGD. What's coming up next on this stream? It's going to be us again, actually. So Tong Fu versus Orenda. And yeah, that's next. That's next up, guys.
Yeah, so we're going to be up with Tong Fu Orenda. Then after that, we will be swapping out with AC and Fear, who are going to take over here on the second stream, with LGD versus LGD CDEC, HGT versus CIS. And then later on, Sunsfan and I will be casting. That's going to be very late tonight. We'll be on the main studio stream, depending on your time zone, of course. We will be casting on the main studio stream, which will be CNB CN versus HGT at 3:40 Pacific time. And right before that, something a lot of people have been looking forward to, so I guess we should be highlighting that. I'll be casting one game with Merlini, which is something many people
big plays.
They want us to cast a game together. That will be DT versus HGT, arguably the biggest game of today as well.
Okay,
I don't think DT and LGD are meeting, are they?
You have to do something for me in that.
No, they're not. So
everybody's expecting the Cinder and Merlini cast to be like the most analytical thing ever. I just want it to be all troll.
That's
completely troll.
That's not going to happen.
Why?
It's not going to happen.
It's so... Everybody... Tell him how much you want him to troll.
I don't know.
What is my hand doing? I don't know.
I don't know. Stop it.
Okay, so that's it for now. We'll be right back with Orenda versus Tong Fu. Okay. My outros are just so good.
Get off camera immediately.
Let's see. Would you guys rather watch Crystal Maiden, EO, or Puck, or Chaos Knight?
Or the SEA Qualifiers intro.
Or the SEA Qualifiers. Let's go for some Wisp.